Look at this, Bartrand. An idol made out of pure lyrium, I think. Could be worth a fortune. Bartrand! It's shut behind you!
You always did notice everything, Varric.
Are you joking? You're going to screw over your own brother for a lousy idol?
It's not just the idol. The location of this tag alone is worth a fortune. And I'm not splitting that 3 ways.
Seamus, wasn't it? The Viscount's boy.
I still accept no blame for defending Qunari. And I don't miss the kinship of the people who oppose what I believe. Mere existence should not be an offense, no matter how they challenge the Chantry. Not when some of their ideas are so compelling.
Sarah Hawke.
Sister Patrice.
Mother Patrice. Time has changed us both.
Funny how you and issues with the Qunari seem to go together.
And you always assume their side. You have avenged heretical Qunari with human blood. Surely that is good enough for you. An offense to the Maker goes unchallenged. I will give you no further cause to shame the Chantry today, but we will have this argument again. The Viscount's incompetence all but guarantees it.
We did not come equipped to indoctrinate. I am here to satisfy a demand you cannot understand.
It's been a long time.
It will take as long as needed. No ship is coming. There is no rescue from duty to the Qun. I am stuck here.
I love you. You've always made me so proud.
Hawke. I don't care what else is going on. We haven't spoken about Leandra. How are you?
My mother is dead. My heart's broken.
I suppose I could say, at least you knew yours. But that seems more about me than you. I just have flashes of impossibly long hair. But my father... Would you like to hear one thing?
You've never talked about him.
My father trained me in all the skills he had been forced to give up. He spent everything to get me into Kaelin's service. Do you know what I remember? When he read to me, stupid things, dragons and heroes. He wouldn't turn a page until I reached over and took his hand. That big man made every step of the story my choice. I loved that. He died of the wasting in a Denerim ward. Those last weeks, I read to him. I had to take his hand to turn the pages, and I couldn't tell if he was too weak, or if it was the old game. He smiled at that, at his big girl. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Drink?
I could use one.
As much, or as little as you want. No one tells you how to mourn. And when someone says, move on, you take their hand and say, my choice. That's all I have. I'll miss her too.
Hawke, I've got some news. You might not want to be near anything breakable when I tell you, though.
Why don't I buy you a pint and we'll talk?
You just keep making this harder. Although I won't say no to a pint, if you're buying. I've had an ear out for Bartrand. After the Deep Roads, he ran to Ravain, probably because he knew I couldn't track him. But I hear he might be back in Kirkwall. He called in loans from a few of his contacts in Hightown.
Would Bartrand really risk coming back here?
I think we both know by now that Bartrand would risk anything for money. There's a much better market here for that trinket he stole. And all his contacts are in Kirkwall.
Was he staying in Hightown, or just passing through?
If my information is good, and it's always good, he has a house there. Which gives us a good shot at having a word with my dear sweet brother.
How are you holding up, Varric?
Me? My no-account backstabbing brother is practically in arm's reach. I couldn't be better.
We need some answers from your brother.
I agree. Bianca's been missing him something awful. Let's stop by his new house. Welcome him back to the neighborhood and all that.
This house looks abandoned.
I don't get it. My sources saw people making deliveries here just a week ago. This looks like it's been empty for months.
This is still our best lead. We might find something that'll take us to Bartrand.
My thoughts exactly. So that's how you greet your brother, is it, Bartrand? Fine. Say hello, Bianca.
Please forgive me, my brother. I was just jealous of you. How could I ever compete with you for Mother's love?
You're strong and handsome, and so very smart. What?
Why lie now about this? What have you to gain?
What do you want from me? I broke in, I found my brother, and it was awkward. Family business.
No. I think there's more to it.
Fine. You want the gory details? I'll give you the gory details. These corpses aren't even stiff yet, Hawke. Somebody's been in here today. do to these men? They were completely out of their heads. Bertrand, what have you done?
Varric? Is that you? Praise the ancestors.
Hold up. I know this man. He's Bartrand's steward. Hugin, what happened here?
Varric, your brother. That statue he brought out of the deep roads. Bartrand said it sang to him, even after he sold it. I've been hiding in here, but the guards, they're like crazed animals. I didn't dare go past them. Everyone in this house has gone mad.
What did he do to the guard to turn them to this?
He's been forcing them to eat lyrium. Some of the servants, he cut pieces off them while they were still alive. He says he's trying to help them hear the song. Please stop him.
Bartrand's not exactly a nice guy, but this doesn't sound like my brother.
I haven't seen anyone alive in here except for guards. What happened to the rest of the staff?
I don't know what Bartrand did to them. By the ancestors, the sound's coming from his study. They're dead by now. I hope.
What do you mean you hope they're dead?
Just whoever, whatever you find in that room. Varric, give them a merciful death.
You said he sold the statue. To who?
I don't know. It's why we came back to Kirkwall. He was already starting to rant about the sodding idol and its singing. On his better days, he hated the thing. Wanted to get rid of it. But the minute it was gone, he got worse.
Everything will be all right. You're safe now.
I wish I believed that, human. Bartrand took the servants and locked himself inside the study. No one's come out for days. And those sodding lunatics just keep prowling the halls.
Then we go in after him. Come on, Hawke. Let's finish this.
Sing the song for me! Need to hear the song again. Just for a minute. Stop saying that! I know I shouldn't have sold the idol to that woman. It was a mistake! A mistake.
Bartrand, get a hold of yourself. Do you know where you are? Do you know what you've done?
Varric, you'll help me, won't you, little brother? Help me find it again. You were always a good one.
Help you? Bartrand, you left me to die. You left all your men to die. And for what? Some trinket? Look at yourself. Look at what you've done to the men and women who served you. Where's your nobility, brother? Where's your dwarven honor?
You've already beaten him. Don't lose your head.
I want to know why. Why'd you do it, Bartrand? Were you already crazy before we even went into the deep roads? Or was it all the statue?
Idol, not a statue. It wants to be worshipped. It wants me. It wants me back. She stole it from me. For this.
Who did you sell the idol to, Bartrand?
She glittered like the sun, but her heart was ice. She will not feed it, not like I did.
Bartrand was a bastard when he sealed us in the deep roads, but he wasn't a madman.
Bloody ancestors. Why bring me this close and still nothing? For 3 years, all I've wanted is to look him in the eye and get his answers. Why he abandoned us in that thaig. What any of this was for. I guess there's nothing he could say that would make it right.
He's beyond any healer's skill. Make it quick and end his suffering.
Right. Still going to feel good pulling that trigger. Come on. I don't want to look at this place anymore.
Something on your mind, Varric?
I should thank you for your help with my brother. He was a jackass, and he tried to kill us, but that was still the hardest thing I've ever done. He was never what you'd call nice, or pleasant, or hygienic, but he was my only brother.
He was obviously suffering. You spared him a lot of misery.
I hope you're right. I don't know if service dwarves go back to the stone, or hang around singing hymns with Andraste, or what. I just hope wherever he is now, Bartrand stays out of trouble.
Any idea what really went on with him and that statue?
Oh, the thing must be cursed. I don't know if it's magic, or demons, or the bile of the ancestors, but I think curse about covers it. If we're lucky, whoever he sold it to had the damn thing melted down for scrap.
If you're worried about it, we could ask one of the priests to pray for him.
I'm pretty sure any decent priest who prays for Bartrand would burst into flames. Anyway, thank you. I'll keep looking into who bought that blighted statue. At the very least, they need to be warned about what happened.
What are you doing?
Putting out milk. I miss having a cat around. But I think the refugees have scared them all off. Or maybe eaten them. You know, I've been meaning to thank you. Having someone like you making a name for yourself in Kirkwall. It's done a lot for mages. You're the kind of leader we need. To tell the world we won't be punished any longer for our Maker-given gifts.
I will not stand by while the Templars hunt and murder our people.
I can't tell you how reassuring that is. Sometimes, you're the only reason I don't think I'm crazy. When you still believed in me after I almost killed that poor girl. I knew you meant it. You wouldn't say it just to make me feel better. You make me think I can really do this. Lead a revolution.
I didn't realize you were planning anything that big.
No small change would address the injustice that mages face. The Chantry itself must be overturned. There will always be mages born in Thedas. But Templars are made by men. And they can be unmade.
Why does this matter so much to you?
Why do you think your parents gave up everything to keep you and your sister out of the Circle? In the Circle, they tell you day and night that magic is sin. A mark on your soul of the Maker's hatred. But for all the talk of demons, the most common death I saw for a mage was suicide.
Together, we'll win this fight.
Your faith inspires me. Sometimes, I fear I cannot do this. Not while I struggle against this vengeance inside me. But I know you won't let me lose myself to him.
last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Firmundis. Care to hear the story?
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
Go ahead. Get it out of your system.
Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Daenerys during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
I thought Daenerys considered you valuable.
He wasn't given a choice. The look on his face as the ship pulled out was priceless. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Daenerys finally came for me.
Were you with these Fog Warriors willingly?
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Daenerys came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them, so I did. I killed them all.
Why would you do such a thing?
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
Didn't Daenerys stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Daenerys was able to mount the hunt in earnest, but by then, I was already gone.
How well did you know these Fog Warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them, and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
I have to wonder why you stayed with Daenerys as long as you did.
You have not been a slave. A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
But there are stories of slaves rebelling all the time. They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
Couldn't you have found other Fog Warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Daenerys then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
This can't be easy to talk about.
I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. You and I don't always agree, but...
You don't need to say it. I understand.
Let's just say you've earned my respect. A last toast, then. To the fallen.
I notice you talk about vulgar things quite a bit.
Do you want me to stop? Do I make you uncomfortable?
It was just an observation, really.
It's a bad habit I picked up spending years with foul-mouthed pirates. Pirates only care about a small number of very specific things. The sea, strong drink, and booty. Both kinds.
Lieutenant Harley?
Aveline? Thank the Maker.
I take it you know each other.
Harley is one of the Guard, recently promoted.
This disaster was my first routine assignment.
We're not reinforcements if that's what you were waiting for.
Bollocks! Little Bedham must not have made it back. We're up against Evert's Marauders.
Everts? Shit.
Felorden's up there, and Victor Longdeath's handiwork you've already seen. We tried 2 sorties up the path, but it's trapped to oblivion. Now I'd be thankful just to get out of here alive.
No fair, guard dog! You brought friends!
Shut your mouth!
Felorden, Victor Longdeath, what are you talking about?
They've been robbing and raping for Maker knows how long. Did a broad daylight assault on the Keep to rescue one of their number 2 years back. Felorden, a blood mage, is here. Victor Longdeath, Sophie.
Maker, you certainly drew a fine first detail.
Isn't it suicide to stay pinned down here?
We're pinned down right now, but so are they. If we run, Evert's Marauders escape again. So we've been waiting for reinforcements. Victor's arrows and Auden's fireballs taking their toll. But we can still take them down.
The longer we wait, the more of us they'll kill. Let's attack, now.
I'm with you, but my men may be too rattled to join us.
Evert's Marauders. They're just men. Flesh and bone. Flesh can be torn. Bones can be broken. Alone, they will pick you off one by one. Together, we are unstoppable! On me!
You'd make a fine captain of the guard. Look out for traps. Be careful. Evert's Marauders are deadly.
Ah!
That should be the last of them.
They're all dead? I can't believe it. I'll tell Lieutenant Jalen at the Keep what you've done. I'll make sure he rewards you.
Good work yourself, Lieutenant. Make sure the others know it.
Men! We're heading home!
You have got to hear this, Hawke. There's this tale making the rounds. They're saying you single-handedly fought off a pirate invasion at midnight on the sacred ground of the Chantry.
Don't the stories mention my stunning good looks? What about my cunning wit?
Nope. They skip straight to the part about the lovable dwarf with the gorgeous crossbow and the heart of gold. I try to steer them straight, but you know how stories go. Just don't be surprised if people seem in awe.
What compels you to spin these ridiculous tales?
I love the sound of my own voice, and I'm a compulsive liar. Honestly, I don't know. It's just something I do. There's power in stories, though. That's all history is. The best tales, the ones that last. Might as well be mine.
Wouldn't it make more sense for you to be the main character in these tall tales of yours?
There's a recipe to a good hero, Hawke. It's like alchemy. 1 part down to earth, 1 part selfless nobility, 2 parts crazy, and you season liberally with wild falsehoods. You let that percolate through a good audience for a while, and when it's done, you've got your hero.
I find it hard to believe you're spreading these stories without getting something in return.
Well, that just shows what you know, Hawke. The stories are their own reward. You really need to see the look on someone's face when I tell them you ripped the arms off an ogre. Just once.
I guess all works. A little reverence wouldn't hurt, though.
You may not be my best dressed or cleanest friend, Master Hawke, but you're all right in my book. Anyway, I'll quit exaggerating before it goes to your head.
Boom! Ah, there he goes again. How he makes these things, I'll never know.
I've never seen another dwarf like him. Does this run in your family?
Not at all, but Sandal isn't really my son. I found him in the deep roads when I left Orzammar for good. Raised him as my own now. Isn't that right, my boy?
I like Bodan.
He's always been this way. Always collecting things and enchanting them. Strange, I suppose.
Have you ever thought of finding out more?
Well, I did. I brought him to the Circle of Magi about a year after we got to the surface. They called him a savant, but then they started giving him the eye like they were going to keep him, so we left. Not going back to those vultures. Sandal's happy as he is.
Perhaps he'll be the first dwarven mage. Wouldn't that be interesting?
I don't know. The actual mages don't do enchanting, do they? Just the ones who had their magic taken away.
Tranquil.
Yes, them. Ugh.
That's it. Not even going to mention your scuffle with Evit's marauders. Killing the whole lot of them.
They killed a lot of good people.
They won't kill anyone else. Thanks to you. There's one small rub, though. Their leader, Evitz, wasn't there, was he?
No, they were led by Fell Orden.
Evitz is the worst of the lot. He may try to get revenge one day.
He can wait his turn. I won't lose any sleep over it.
Maybe nothing will come of it. Thanks again for your help.
It is apparently not enough that the Qunari define my political life. They must also infect what I hold personal. It is my son, Seamus. The life you saved, he would now squander by converting to the Qun. He has left for the Qunari compound. Please, Sarah Hawke, convince Seamus to come home.
The Arishok says nothing good about Kirkwall, yet he accepts conversions.
I cannot understand him. Maker knows I've tried, but he landed with, what, a few hundred men? Add up the deaths and defections, and the Arishok must need to bolster his ranks. I'm sure my son is quite the symbolic prize.
He is of age. The decision seems rightly his.
I want to let him find his way, but in my position, he's taken a great deal of inspiration from you. I want to allow his idealism, but not blindly. At best, my opponents will claim that my office is now in Qunari hands. At worst, I lose my son.
Did anyone else see him leaving for the compound?
He made no secret of it. I'm sure he intended it as another of his statements about closer relations. Your example inspired him. I might agree, but now is not the time. These matters are delicate.
He's politically dangerous, you mean?
The office must remain strong, Sarah Hawke.
You know this will only end in trouble.
Fitting. That's where it started. My son is not foolish. He will listen to reason, and you are in the best position to offer that opportunity. Please, do what you can.
Enter if you must.
So, hope the Arishok wasn't planning on keeping the Viscount's son.
Sarah Hawke.
I'm here about the Viscount's son.
Are you? In 4 years, I have made no threat, and fanatics have lined up to hate us simply because we exist. But despite lies and fear, Bars still beg me to let them come to the Qun. They hunger for purpose. The Sun has made a choice. You will not deny him that.
Converting the Viscount's son? His opposition will have a field day. The enemy of your enemy should be your friend?
I don't fear the whole of them together. And it is not my role to reject the free choice of Vidithari. The Sun responded to his own demand of the Qun. He is neither my slave nor my prisoner. He is not even here. He went to his father. Ask the Viscount why he would send you and a letter both.
That probably could have been mentioned earlier.
They are meeting at the Chantry. A last pointless appeal, I assume.
The Viscount has not tried to involve the Chantry before.
No, but we know who would. Mother Patrice.
A suspect in many things. If she has threatened someone under my command again, there is only one response.
Don't make things worse by marching your men through the streets without cause.
This is cause. This is the last insult I will suffer, Hawke. I will be watching. The Vidithari are of the Qun. This offense will have an answer.
Sirrah Hawke, look at what you have done. To pounce upon the Viscount's son, a repentant convert in the Chantry itself. A crime with no excuse. Your Qunari masters will finally answer.
All this will do is make people hate you!
I have kept the fear of the Qunari fresh in every sermon, every prayer. They will know whose word to believe. When people learn of this attack, they will rise. Not zealots or the unknowing, but the true majority.
You won't get the Qunari ousted. You'll get a slaughter, on both sides.
To die untested would be the real crime. People need the opportunity to defend faith, starting with you. Earn your reward in this life and next. These heretics must die! Do you see, Your Grace? Traitors attacking the very core of the Chantry. They defile with every step.
There is death in every corner, young mother. It is as you predicted. All too well.
Forgive me, Your Grace, but you must know the truth about what happened here.
Don't you spout your Qunari filth. This is a hand of the Divine.
I have ears, Mother Patrice. The Maker would have me use them.
Viscount Dumas' son is dead. Killed here in your name.
I'm sure my name won't like that. Patrice?
Seamus Dumas was a Qunari convert. He came here to repent and was murdered.
Love or hate the Qunari, a blind nug could see she took this too far.
No price is too much when we speak of eternity.
Eternity is long enough that we need not rush to meet it.
They deny the Maker.
And you diminish him, even as you claim his side. Andraste did not volunteer for the flame. Sirrah Hawke, you stand with the captain of the guard? The young mother has erred in her judgment. A court will decide her fate. The Chantry respects the law, and so must she.
Grand Cleric? Grand Cleric?
We protect those of the Qun. We do not abandon our own.
Please, send for Viscount Dumas.
My son. Murdered in the heart of the Chantry by those who held a sacred trust. What hope for this city when we fail our own so completely?
The Arishok is still here, Excellency. You must be ready to stand up to him.
I cannot. I have already failed where it mattered most. Please. Hawke. Leave me.